Yeah, today we will learn something about the classification of routes of the drug administration. It's the first and foremost important route is the oral route. Oral is one of the oldest route. Oral route means through mouth. It is enteral route means here the intestine and many other organs are being involved. And the commonest mode of drug administration, because it's very common in case of human beings, whereas it is not so common in case of the animals. And the advantages of this route of administration is the it is safest and least expensive, and it doesn't require the skilled person or technically what you call a sound person to administer the drugs. And here the liquid and solid forms are very commonly these can be administered to the patient is concerned. And the GI infection and parasites, also this route is very good, because most of the anthelmintics, maybe the benzimidazoles like albendazole, fenbendazole and so many other things, they are not absorbed properly from the intestine. Hence large quantity is present, will be present in case of the gut. Hence they are going to kill the parasites in a proper manner. Then the disadvantages of this route are many. Of course, each route of the administration has got its own advantage and disadvantages are concerned. And here the disadvantage of this route of administration is not suitable for emergency, and in critically very ill patients. It's not suitable for emergency. That's one of the important factor to note. And in the emergency situations, wherever the drug has to be very fastly absorbed, so this route is not suitable for the emergency this thing. And not suitable for unconscious or uncooperative or vomiting patients. This is also very important, because whenever there is vomition, then at that time it's very difficult to administer the drug, because in vomiting patients, whatever may be the quantity that is ingested orally will be vomited immediately because of the gastric irritation or the omission reflex. Hence, this route is not suitable for the patients who have got omission. Means, of course, the cattle do not vomit, whereas the dogs and other animals do vomit, monogastric animals. And another disadvantage of this route is not suitable for the drugs which undergo extensive intestinal or hepatic first phase effect. So you should understand what is a first phase effect. So the enteral routes are, anyway, we will come to that later. Enteral routes means enteric means it's something related to gastrointestinal tract. So the enteric means it is referring to the oral route, oral and sublingual and rectum. So these are the starting and end point of the gastrointestinal tract is concerned. And the oral swallowing PO or porous, or it is also known as PO or porous, and sublingual is placed under the tongue, and rectum absorption through the rectum. So these are all the parenteral routes, or not parenteral, apart from parenteral, enteral routes. So oral route, here the drug is administered by the ingestion, means the drug is placed in the oral cavity, then with the water, the tablet, bolus, or the lozenge, or whatever it may be, it's ingested by the patient, and not very much prepared, especially in case of the animals, maybe large animals and small animals. It is not so, because especially in case of dogs, it's very difficult to make them to swallow the tablet. So this is not suitable for the dogs and our animal kingdom is concerned. And it is given in the form of a drench or mixed with feed, or it's also water. And sometimes It is applied with the help of the stomach tube or nasogastric tube. If rapid effect is required, drug may be administered before meal. That's also important because the if drug causes irritation, may be administered after meal. Most of the tablets and oral preparations are given after the meal. You know, you are also taking some tablets, and this is only after the meal is concerned, and hence you can. So this drug is very effectively, most of the drugs in the case of the human beings, about 80% of the drugs are given by this type of the routes. And if rapid effect is required, drug may be administered before meal. Some drugs, especially the pantoprazole or proton pump inhibitors, they are administered orally before the food because the pantoprazole is a what you call as proton pump inhibitor, means it reduces the acidity, and hence to reduce the secretion of gastric acid, it is administered 1 hour before the food. And advantages of the oral route, this especially in case of human being, it is very much having the advantage, especially the patient himself or herself can take it is thing, whereas it is pain free. Whereas if you administer the drug intramuscular or intravenous or subcutaneous, it is painful. So the advantages of oral route is, one of the important thing is it is easily administered, especially in case of human patients. But in our patients, especially in case of veterinary practice, this is a disadvantage of that particular route. And absorption takes place along the whole length of the GI tract because this is a vast surface area, and hence the absorption takes place throughout the into small intestine, maybe sometimes large intestine, till the end of the this particular rectum is there. So till that sometimes it is this is absorbed. The drugs or the preparations needs no sterilization, whereas in case of injections, it requires very sterile preparations because what happens is if the injections are not sterile, then it causes infection to the patient, and both solid and liquid dosage forms can be given through this oral administration, and this route is most suitable for GIT infection and GI parasites, especially whenever there is a severe diarrhea is present, which is involving the intestine, and there is a bacterial infection or sometimes secondary bacterial infection in viral disease. So the antibiotics can be given orally. And suppose if you give the injection, sufficient quantity may not be secreted in the intestine, whereas in this route, directly it goes and contacts with the mucous membrane of the intestine. Hence, this is most preferable route in case of the human being. And another thing is this route is cheap as compared to more other parenteral route. So this is a general statement. Of course, many times it cannot be also. Some tablets are also very costly when compared to the injection. It depends upon the varieties, especially what the type of the injection is there or the tablet is there. And disadvantages of this oral route, already we have discussed certain disadvantage in previous slides, but in this it has got certain disadvantages, like the drug action has slower onset and not suitable in case of emergencies. Already we have discussed in case of emergencies or anaphylaxis, or if the patient is having coma, or if the patient is drowsy, this route of administration is not suitable because he or she can't take the tablet orally, and the absorption is irregular here. The absorption of the drug is irregular because, and also unpredictable because of the presence of ingesta. Food is present in the stomach, and also intestine food particles will be present. Hence, this will come in the way of the absorption of the food is of the drug is concerned. And also the ingesta is one of the hindering factor for the absorption of the drug. And another thing is the unpredictable absorption rate, because the tablet or the capsule or any other drug will go and get mixed with the ingesta, and as and when the ingesta goes down into the gastrointestinal tract, then only we can expect that the drug should be absorbed. Okay, that's one of the important thing. And yes, suppose it's called as the drug absorption rate. Here we cannot rely upon the drugs absorption rate, because sometimes there is a if the food if is having more oily content, then more and more quantity of the drugs which are lipid soluble may be absorbed. And the first fast effect already I have told. See, please note down this first fast effect is drugs absorbed orally are initially transported to the liver via the portal vein, and they get metabolized there. That's known as the first pass effect. And irritation to gastric mucosa is also another disadvantage of the oral route, because whenever the stomach is empty without any ingesta, we cannot administer the drugs because they are irritants. Most of they are the chemical nature, some of them are the acidic in nature, some of them are alkaline in nature. So either acidic or alkaline environmental drugs, they will make the what you call as the drug not to be absorbed properly, and they cause irritation, and sometimes the omission or the diarrhea may also be present. And once again, the first fast effect is the term. This is the definition wise. What's the first fast effect? It is referring to the liver. Here, the term used for the hepatic metabolism of a pharmacological agent when it is absorbed from the gut and delivered to the liver via the portal circulation. It's also known as hepatobiliary circulation. The greater the first pass effect, less the agent will reach the systemic circulation when the agent is administered orally. Yeah, this is here the first pass. It's a colloquial term used for the hepatic metabolism, which happens whenever the drug is absorbed here, and it is absorbed through the enterohepatic circulation and goes to the liver, then get metabolized and excreted through bile or portal circulation. So this is one of the important thing to be considered. Usually whenever a drug is taken orally, most of the drugs, this happens with the drugs which are taken orally, but it's not exceptionally sometimes the drugs administered also get trapped in the hepatobiliary circulation. So 90% of the drugs which when taken orally and from the stomach, they are going to the lumen of the gastrointestinal tract, then it get absorbed into the hepatic portal vein capillary network is there, starting from the stomach and also in the intestine. Then all the drugs will get metabolized in the liver, because liver is the metabolic organ very commonly in all the animals. Then this hepatic portal system. This is portal vein, and it is also known as hepatoportal circulation system. Then all these drugs go to the liver, then get metabolized, and they enter the general systemic circulation. And some of these get metabolized drugs which are secreted in bile, they once again get secreted in intestine. And see here, you have to remember one drug known as the ivermectin. Ivermectin, whenever it's administered either orally or parenterally, because of this highly polar, this lipid soluble in nature, the drug goes to the liver, and through bile it is secreted into the lumen of the GI tract, and hence once again the drug is going to be absorbed from the intestine, and it is sent to the liver. Ivermectin, a anthelmintic, especially which is having anti-nematodal and especially anti-acaricicidal action. So this ivermectin, whenever given parenterally or orally, it goes to the hepatobiliary circulation. Once again, it is secreted through the bile into the GI tract. So because of this hepatobiliary circulation, this is known as hepatobiliary circulation. The half-life of the ivermectin is about 10 to 14 days, not hours, days, because of the enterohepatic circulation or hepatobiliary circulation. So this first pass effect is very common in most of the orally absorbed drug, because this capillary system which is supplied to the domain of the tract, and through these will form a common vein, and this is known as hepatic portal vein, and entire system is known as hepatic portal system. And this system is the one which is responsible for the first fast metabolism. And this is a very probable and common question in case of exam also. What is a first pass mechanism? You should write all these particular things are concerned. And sublingual or the preparations, another preparations are the buccal preparations. So here, why these drugs are given sublingual or buccal is for the fast absorption. Certain drugs do have got very absorptive property. At the same time, they are going to be destroyed by the gastric hydrochloric acid. That's also one of the disadvantage of the oral route. Many times, the drugs get destroyed by the gastric hydrochloric, because the pH of the stomach is nearly 3, means it's highly acidic in nature. Hence, the drugs are taken, especially in case of sublingual or buccal route, as the smaller tablets, and it is put below the tongue is concerned. So below the tongue, the tablets are given, and which are held in the mouth under the tongue. And the advantage of this sublingual or buccal route is rapid absorption and drug stability. Yeah, only some of the drugs which are absorbed through intact skin, they are only administered as the buccal preparations, because many of the drugs are not suitable for the sublingual buccal preparations, because they are not getting absorbed. Highly lipid soluble drugs, just like nitroglycerin, and sometimes the oxytocin is also made as the buccal preparations. So here the first pass effect is avoided, especially, and the drug is sometimes it's released slowly. And here you can see the tablet or capsule for the buccal preparation is kept below the tongue, and it gets the absorption occurs. Sometimes it's very slowly. And the disadvantages of this route is it is inconvenient, because sometimes the taste of the tablet or the buccal preparation may not be so good, but at that time it gets some discomfort to the patient, and small doses cannot be administered over the sublingual or buccal route. And the unpleasant taste of the drug, because here whenever the drug is put below the tongue, a lot of saliva is also produced, and that saliva mixed drug will go above the tongue, and the taste sense will be done by the patient. So if the taste is not pleasant, then it's very difficult for the patient to get adjusted to that particular drug. Here the materials that are absorbed through this route are, the examples are the nitroglycerin, and sometimes buctocin is a preparation, oral preparations, these are coming. So whenever, see please, whenever if you open the SIMS or any other book, you can see that the many preparations are administered through this particular route is concerned. And rectal route of drug administration in unconscious patients and children, this route is always better. if patient is having nausea or vomiting, you cannot make the patient to have the pills orally. So then at that time you can use the rectal route, but this route is one of the what you call as least preferred route and easy to terminate exposure, and you can immediately remove the oral tablet because this rectal tablet, because if you administer the drug orally, once you administer it, it's very difficult to take it back. Suppose there is a overdose or some complications and you don't want the drug to act or action, then it's very difficult for uh, the drug to be get absorbed. Absorption is variable, especially in case of rectal route, because the surface area available for the absorption is very less. It may be some square centimeters only. Whereas if you administer a drug orally or parenterally, then the absorption is very high. And
Sir,
especially,
is it applied to any species of the animal, sir?
what is that?
If this rectal route is it applied to any species of the
No, usually in
animal?
case of veterinary practice, such drugs are not commonly used. Only few of the drugs like magnesium sulfate, sometimes magnesium sulfate enema is given to the animal, but usually the magnesium sulfate is not absorbed to the greater extent. Only this is applicable in the case of the patients who do have constipation, and one of the preparation is known as the Visacodil. It is a what you call as purgative, irritant purgative, and at that time this is useful. And many drugs are also used, especially and some of the persons who do have the cancer of the oral cavity and other thing. Then, if the drugs are not absorbed through the parenteral route or no preparations are available, then this route is prepared, or else it is a rare route of administration. Yeah, here the suppose in case of the sublingual, the tablet is placed below the tongue, and many times the thing is the in case of veterinary this is not possible because sometimes the patient may engulf the tablet, whereas in case of human beings, what you can say that they don't swallow this particular tablet. That's so. In case of human patients, we can control the drug. Whenever it comes in contact with the capillaries of the intestine, then it diffuses through the capillaries here, capillaries in the oral membrane. So the absorption of the drug starts from the tongue itself and till the end of the gastrointestinal tract, the absorption will be there. And it depends upon, once again, the what you call as the pH of that particular drug, pKa or acid constant, acid base constant, and sometimes the dissolution capacity of that particular drug is also very important here. The next one is the parenteral route. So this is the other than the enteral means it is something related to the gastrointestinal tract, and the parenteral route is the one which is beyond the intestine. Means par means away, enteral par enteral means away from the gastrointestinal tract. That's known as the parenteral route. And technique, it refers to drug administration by injections under one or more layer of the skin or the mucous membrane. Here, the drug is deposited in the mucous membrane or in between the layers. And commonly used parenteral routes in veterinary medicine include, and almost all the medicines is concerned as intravenous route, means the injection is given inside the vein and directly into the bloodstream. Intramuscular, then subcutaneous, intraperitoneal, and epidural. Epidural means above the dura mater. So these are all the routes of the administration in parenteral type of the administration. So here intravascular is also known as parenteral means intravascular, intravenous or intraarterial. Sometimes a few of the drugs, whenever there is an emergency like there is a cardiac problem in case of the dogs, many times the drug is directly administered into the arteries, of course. it's rare, but intra-arterial injections are given. And the extravascular, like this intramuscular in the muscles, it's given in between the muscles. See, whenever we deposit a drug in between the muscle layers, then what happens is the muscle is having richest what you call as the blood supply, and because of the highest blood supply, the absorption of the drug is here occurs because the drug will be surrounded by the capillary system, and because of this, and another thing is the passive diffusion or active diffusion, active transport, and so many mechanisms, the drug is going to be absorbed into the circulation. Subcutaneous is the one below the skin, the injection is given. Intra-articular means inside the joint, the injections are given. Many times, if the patient is suffering from the arthritis, then the intra-articular injection is given. And intraperitoneal is the one inside the peritoneal cavity of the abdomen, then this injection is given. Whenever we need to, when patient is having lot of dehydration, then we cannot get the veins at that time, then this intraperitoneal route is sometimes preferred, but it has got its own advantages and disadvantages. Intracardial means directly inside the heart. Many times the drugs are given in a patient with severe cardiac attack, or how the cardiac attack occurs means a small part of the heart will have very less supply of the blood, and there is myocardial ischemia. At that time, the heart stop. Heartbeats may be decreased, or many times heart may become dysfunctive. At that time, these drugs like adrenaline and other drugs, they are given directly into the heart. That's intracardial. Intrapleural means the pleural membranes, in between the pleural membranes, the drug is administered. Epidural means above the dura mater, especially this is very commonly used in case of the veterinary for the anesthesia, spinal anesthesia. This is epidural. Intradermal means the injection that is given inside the dermal or the skin. So below the skin, subcutaneous. Inside the skin, that is intradermal. The
Above the skin is epidural.
one of the example is the intradermal tuberculin test. You might have heard that thing. And intrathecal membrane, inside the thecal membrane, it is given. And intraosseous injections means inside the osteal tissue or the bones, this injection is given. And especially in case of cancers and other thing, the intraosseous or the injection or inside the osteal cavity is given. And other extravasation routes are the inhalation route, topical application, and already we have seen so many preparations are also available, just like intravaginal, intranasal, and many more routes are there in the parenteral administration. Yeah, this is I think here, this is jugular vein of a cattle, and the doctor is piercing the needle into the jugular vein and getting the blood collected.